Hi guys.
How are you all doing? Hopefully everybody's doing well. We're doing great, if a little hot, aren't we? Welcome to all new subscribers. We're really happy to see you. Thanks for following us and supporting us, everybody.
I can't believe we're nearly on 1,000.
We're nearly on 1,000 subscribers, so maybe by next week.
You're all mad.
You're all mad. Maybe we're mad for doing this.
We're mad for doing it, but there are a lot more mad people out there, which is really good to know that we're not the only ones.
Yeah, and obviously it's not all our family and friends. We know that.
Yes, true. We haven't got that many friends.
Or family, to be fair. So this week the weather has taken a turn for the hotter.
The better.
Yeah.
No, the rain's kind of... Well, having said that, we did have a storm yesterday.
A big storm. Yeah.
It was 30 odd, early 30s yesterday. For the majority of the day. In the afternoon, a quick storm came in. Absolute monster, wasn't it? The thunder was just unbelievable. It made us jump.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then it was gone, and it all went dry,
as if it had never been there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always the way,
so which we don't mind.
No, I did.
But it was.
Yeah. It's very close.
We haven't quite adapted to the heat yet properly.
No,
so we thought we'd a little bit longer before this sort of temperature came in. We're sat in the shade by choice, simply because it's too hot sat in there already.
Way too hot.
And it's only early in the morning. It's only mid-morning, so
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, yeah. So. But I'm not complaining. Trust me, I'm definitely not complaining about it.
Oh, I am. It's just too hot for me.
You just can't please everyone, can you?
Darren likes it really hot anyway, so whereas I don't. I'd be happy with 25.
Well, it's that kind of heat, and I think because we haven't adapted to it properly, it's that kind of heat that you actually stand still, don't do anything, and you just feel your legs sweating. I'm constantly doing this, trying to sweat off me.
I know. I saw you yesterday, and he had a drip going like this.
It's very warm, but I like it that way. So it doesn't,
Well, this is
we
what we
learn to
wanted.
adapt again, don't we? So that's fine.
I think for me, I wanted like sunshine lots more than we get in the UK.
Not as hot as it is, though.
But not as hot as it is, yeah.
Tough.
And the worst thing is I know July, August, it's going to be
absolutely
really hot.
Hit the hot,
But we do need to sort out some air conditioning.
Yes,
but
we
for
need to
now,
do something.
I'm going to freeze our hot water bottles. A little tip. It's what we did when we lived here before, is we froze our hot water bottles and then snuggled with them in the night, didn't we?
Yeah, it just gives you something to put your foot on and
makes a big difference. What have we been up to in the past week?
Not a lot, really.
No,
just twiddled our thumbs a little bit.
It honestly, on some of the days when it's been really hot like this, that is pretty much what I've done. Darren's doing lots of work, but some days I just can't get one foot in front of the other. I'm just so tired.
But no, we've done a couple of bits and pieces. I suppose the main one was really that we went to look for a car in Sofia.
We did. That was last Friday, actually. No, last Thursday.
No, I think we discussed about going for a car before, and we looked. And if you speak to Bulgarians about cars, what they'll tell you is that all the second-hand cars, all the second-hand dealers, it's all the mileage is going to be wrong by a couple 100,000 kilometres. They're going to adjust it and blah blah blah. So they really, really, really don't trust used car dealers in general. So it was recommended to us that we buy an ex-leasing car. Now, it meant it was going to be a bit dearer than we wanted to spend, but the idea being that it's going to be a newer car, so obviously hopefully it will last longer, and it's more likely that the mileage is going to be correct because they'll have had to have done the services, etc. So that's what we looked into.
Yeah.
And we found a place in Sofia. Had about 8 cars on the site that could have been okay. First one we were looking at was a Dacia Duster. That's that woodpecker. That's the Syrian woodpecker going to his hole.
Lives on our plum tree.
Yeah. So Nikki didn't want to drive in Sofia, which, in fairness, having now been up there. I think she did the right thing.
Thank you.
It was extremely busy, that bit of road. Okay, it really was extremely
and a lot
busy.
more lanes.
And the map made it look like you just went, when you came out of there, you just go round a little roundabout and back the other way and out of Sofia. That was quite as simple as that.
Yeah.
They had little lanes that come on. It was like 4 lanes wide, making sure you're in the right one, etc. Yeah, Nikki would have. I
would have freaked.
I wouldn't have liked it that much, to be honest, because you know when you're driving somewhere you don't know, it's always a little bit am I in the right lane. We decided that we would bus up the day before, stay overnight, get to the place early in the morning on the Friday morning, and
hopefully drive a car home.
Drive a car home.
That was the plan.
Everyone likes a plan.
Yeah.
It's just a shame the plan didn't quite
It didn't
work.
go quite. No.
We went to the place, very helpful. I think about half of the cars, unfortunately, I wanted to look at weren't there. They'd already been sold.
Yes, but they don't update the website.
And when we started to look at the cars, we just found little things that, you know, if you've got a feeling that it's not right, you've just got to say, no, that's not right. That's it. We did find one that we were keen on, but it was a Sandero stepway, which is obviously slightly smaller. It was newer.
It was in immaculate condition.
It was in. Even when you open the car, it smelled brand new.
Yeah.
You know that new car smell.
Yeah.
So we were tempted with that one, but it didn't. It was the only one that didn't have plates.
Yeah.
So we realised very
Couldn't have
quickly
driven it
that
home.
we wouldn't have done anything on the Friday. We'd have
No.
had to go back Monday or Tuesday to sort it,
Yeah.
do everything online, etc. Go to the notaries, all the rest of it would have all had to have been done another day. At this point, to be honest, we're both quite tired. We not slept particularly well. It was just one of those things.
Well, we had to
You know what it's
go on
like.
the metro,
And we did a lot
and
of
then we had to
walking.
walk, a lot of walk.
We
and
did
it
a
was
lot of
like,
walking.
It was like lunchtime by that time, so we thought we'd go and have some lunch and discuss it.
Yeah.
However-
So we just, as we went to go and get some lunch, we decided that, look, you know, at the end of the day, there's no point in us going back and doing something now because we haven't got a car.
To get back
So
home.
we've got to get back to Stara Zagora, pick up the car which we dropped off thinking we wouldn't need it. That's hindsight for us. We should have left it out. But we needed to find another way back. So we looked at buses. Buses were all booked.
Yeah.
So we looked at the train. And there was a train.
We're on the train.
Hello. So we had an unsuccessful day today. Trying to get a car. Failed miserably.
I'm one without a fool.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. Just what we wanted. So, back to square one.
Totally.
And unfortunately, because we had obviously gone up to Sofia on the bus, we tried to book a bus on the way back and they were all booked. So we decided to come by the train.
Yeah. It's our third time went
So,
by train.
so we went by train. The train was really tidy.
It was lovely.
Right smack on
Yeah.
time, wasn't it?
Really enjoyable
It was a
ride.
small
It was.
connection at Tulavo.
to live there, yeah.
Which the train we got on then was a little bit more old fashioned.
Yeah, it
It had
was.
the old fashioned, you go down the little corridor. You see them on the westerns, don't you? Really?
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
the little cubicle bits and the little door on its own private little bit where about 6 or 7 people can fit in there or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And there was all these little cubicles all the way down. It was quite funny, wasn't it?
I can't remember what they call them.
But
It's not
in
huge.
fairness, it did have a charger for your phone,
It
which
did,
the more
which
modern
the other
train
one
that we went on
didn't
didn't
have.
have anything like that.
I
So
know.
that was and luckily for me, I needed it because my
And
phone had
they
died.
both had toilets.
Yeah, the
the one
toilets
on the
is that
modern train looked fine.
Yeah.
The one on the other one not so
A little
fine.
rough. We didn't get a car,
We didn't get a car then.
but
We have.
we have now.
We have got a car now. Yeah. So on what day are we now? We are.
Ta-da! So we went all the way to Sofia to try and look at a Dacia Duster,
Some people
and we
say
came
Dacia.
Dacia Duster, and when we came back, we thought, right, let's forgive that idea. Let's go back to where we were looking at. Look
In
for just a
Stara
normal
Zagora.
second-hand car in Stara Zagora because it's going to be much easier. So I found on one of the sites a Vauxhall Astra diesel estate.
Opel Astra.
Sorry, Opel here. Okay, but I'm not really sure about diesel. So I messaged Ivilo, and who's been an absolute diamond for us,
Oh, yeah,
hasn't he?
he
Obviously,
really
he's
has.
the one that's lent us the
Can't
car
thank
and
him
everything
enough
else.
for everything.
So I rang Ivilo, or messaged Ivilo. I said, "What do you know about diesels?" And he went, "Well, not a lot." He said, "But I'll speak to my mechanic friend." So he did, and he came back, and instead of saying anything really much about diesels, he said, "My mechanic friend has a friend who is selling a Dacia Duster, gas and petrol,
Which is what we wanted.
1.5 litre, one owner from new, 90,000 kilometres on it, 2020, and yeah, it's in really good condition, and it's been serviced,
Fully serviced.
every 15,000 kilometres. It's had its oil changed, etc. So it's been really looked after. So we were like, okay then. So we went to have a look at it. I went with Ivilo to test drive the car. So we drove down the road, and we went down around by a garage, and Ivilo said, "Oh, pull over by the garage." So I pulled over by the garage. He said, "I just want to test something. Can I sit there?" So he got into the driver's seat, and he tested the gears to see if it was any slippage on the clutch. So he did that, and then he said, "Do you mind if I drive it?" So I said, "No, that's fine. You can drive it." And he went, "Yeah," because he said, "You're driving it like it's your car, and you're being really careful with it." And he said, "But you need to kind of test it."
You need
So
to try and break it.
He said, "Yeah." He said, "If it's going to break, you want it to break now."
Not really.
Kind of thing. So he drove it a little bit faster than I did, and then he went off road on a little bit of bumpy road, and he went, "Oh yeah, this feels good." And I was like, "Yeah, this is great." Then we went up a little bit further, and he went, "Well, we'll go up here." So by now I'd probably have finished my test drive, to be fair. Ivalo went on a little bit further, so we went up
You
past.
went ages.
Went up past
I
somewhere.
saw you go past, and I said, "Oh, there they are," and I thought you'd be back in 2 minutes.
But no, the whole experience was really, really nice, and I'm sure Nick is going to put some pic on or some videos or whatever of our new car. But I'd just like to point out, on the paperwork, its stated colour is beige. Okay.
Beige?
Yes, it's not. It's posh beige.
It's gold. It's metallic gold.
It's more like a gold.
And the
but
reason why Darren's pointing this out is
because I used to have a Kia Picanto in the UK. That was my last car, and it was beige. And in Wales, we have a speed limit, in the majority of the country, of 20 mile an hour. Now, I tend to stick to the speed limit, so they think I'm an old man, basically.
yeah. So
They
what
say
do
I drive like an old person, and they now say that anyone driving slow is a Darren.
Yes.
So quite often they would come in and say, "Oh, I would have been here sooner, but I got caught behind a Darren," which Nikki thinks is hilarious. I think it's just downright rude. I mean, all I was doing was obeying the law. What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
So I do tend to drive sensibly.
That's because he has been caught speeding a couple of times. So I might.
I got caught
You've been
speeding
on
as
the
soon as we got
speed
back to the
aware-
UK.
I know you've been
Which is
on the speed
really,
awareness course
really
now,
annoying.
so he now tells me slow down.
Yeah, there's no point. It's just not worth. It's just not worth it. It isn't
Well,
worth it.
as
Not
you
worth the
saw on the
hassle.
outskirts of the village the other day, the policeman
Yeah,
with
absolutely,
your speed camera
yeah.
on the corner, and the policeman
Yeah.
was hiding down the road, ready to catch.
He put it right on the
unsuspecting.
bend, and it was
Yeah.
one of these freestanding camera things,
Yeah.
and he reversed right the way back up about a good 50 yards.
And he caught all of them.
And they were all coming down there far too fast.
Well, I mean, it's their bad at the end of the day.
I was
but-
walking, I could see them all. I was like, oh dear.
So we talked about the Boffice last week, and that was kind of like a pre-video before we actually got to the room that we are calling the Boffice. So I'm
I'm
going to
making a
run-
hole in the ceiling.
Yes, so I'm going to run the video of the Boffice Part 1 official of what we've done so far.
We mentioned
what
health and
Darren's done
safety.
so
We
far.
mention health and safety sometimes because there isn't a lot here.
Well, no, you've
And,
got no
and I should
regulation
obviously
on
be doing my
it.
own health and safety checks as such.
Especially as you
A
know
risk,
health and
a
safety.
risk assessment
Yeah.
before I do something.
Yeah.
But I just tend to just grab something and get on with it. You may have noticed on the one when I was doing the hole in the roof that I foolishly stood underneath the hole I was cutting. And that stuff's quite heavy.
It is heavy.
I was quite surprised when it fell
Yeah.
down and nearly knocked me off my ladder.
Yeah, it is
But
heavy.
lesson learned.
Yes. No. So this is to be our bathroom. And over there will be a spare bedroom, office type area. And that's out into the hall. There's the loft hatch Darren put in. Obviously it's only a temporary fix at the moment. But here we want to put a doorway through. This is a supporting wall, so we are going to have to get some advice, get a professional. But we want to put a small doorway through into our bedroom that's on the other side of this wall. And then from our bathroom, we will have the view of our courtyard. Obviously we have clear windows, clear glass, because this wasn't going to be a bathroom originally. But as it's so private, we don't believe it's a problem. We have got some stuff that we can stick onto the glass to give it a frosted appearance for some privacy if we feel the need. What are you doing today?
I am hopefully going to plasterboard this wall. That's the plan basically, but since I did this, as is the way of things, we've changed our minds on quite how it's going to look. So we've often talked about this room being dark once it's all closed in, because obviously the window's on the other side of the wall there. So the bathroom's going to be beautiful and bright and lovely, that's great. But this room, which is a spare bedroom come office,
A Boffice?
kind of thing, a Boffice, yes, is going to be fairly dark. So Nicky jokingly said, can't you put a porthole in it?
I didn't say it quite like that.
She did. She's exactly that voice. Can't you put a porthole in it, she said. And I went, let's go into the bathroom. Well, it did make me think. And it made me think that possibly, with a little tweak to my framework, we could put a couple of windows in on the top to bring the light in from, obviously, the other window. If it's high enough up, obviously it's not going to be an issue for peeping toms. And the only
It is
Tom-
going to be an issue
and the
for
only
peeping
peeping Tom
toms.
he has to worry about is me, but to be fair, I can just use the door. I really wanted to peep.
I don't think I'm
Okay.
really worried about that.
So I don't think it's
Maybe
an
you
issue.
should be worried after the
Yeah.
shower videos.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So maybe that's probably why she wants the windows in the first place, so she can discreetly film me while I'm showering.
Oh, damn, you sussed me.
Yeah. So basically I've got to mark this out properly, cut it, take the two screws out the top there, put in the other support there. I've been doing 2 more noggins in here, just to for the top of the plasterboard. Never ever ever tried doing anything like this before. This is my first stud wall. This will be my first attempt at plastering. Yeah, we shall see. I'm more concerned about getting straight lines on my plasterboard than I am anything else, but I've watched all the videos, it all looks easy. But people who know what they're doing always make it look easy, don't they? So I've got a nice big piece of wood to do that. I know to make sure it's off the ground slightly, so we'll come to all that in the process. You know, sometimes I really think about things I did at school, and one of the things I did at school was pulled out of woodwork. I regret that at this moment in time. I really regret that. So I have to apologise to my teacher. Probably long gone by now because it was a long time ago. But yeah, maybe we should have paid a bit more attention. There we go. Right. There we go. First bit done. I'm going to see the window now. And there it is. My first little piece of plasterboard.
Yay!
Got the first bits up.
Oh, you got 3 little bits up.
Yeah. That was the top of that one, unfortunately.
That's right, it'll be hidden.
But I'm hoping.
Do you need me to hold it?
No, no, so I can go lower down. Don't Right, so that would hold like that. Okay.
So that's how dark it would be if you just had just one window. And the door. You're going to pretend there's a door. Okay.
Oh, not quite big enough.
Yeah. So it's quite dark. So I would say yes, we need the top light. What do you think?
Come in. Come in. Oh, I think that's too dark at all.
No?
No. I think it's better to have it blocked right in and worry about one window.
Well, I was just thinking of the light into the hallway as well, I think.
Yeah, you've got the doorway will be open most of the time.
Yeah,
That's
it will
facing
be.
it.
And you said we can't get a glass. We could get a glass UPVC door.
Door.
We could.
You could.
It would cost a bit more money. How much are the other ones?
I can't remember. 279.
Might not be a lot of,
Around that.
might not be a lot of difference. Could just
So
be
I
100.
think- I think that is better, personally.
Okay.
So I'm going to fit that one up.
We'll discuss it off camera.
I win. But it does what we wanted to do. It lets in the amount of
Let's
light,
in some light, yeah.
which is what we wanted.
That actual project,
It's ongoing.
it's ongoing, so we don't know when we'll show the updates, but obviously you will.
As they happen, we'll update
because
it.
we are doing other things. We're
but,
trying to do our bedroom at the same time as well, but as yet there's nothing sort of major on that. But we're doing bits and bobs.
Yeah. But we are everywhere. I mean, and that's the thing when you're here, you can literally get up in the morning and go,
Yeah.
do you know what? I think I'm going to do that today.
Yeah, and that's what I said to you today. You're like, what's the plan? I quickly mentioned yesterday we went to NAP, which is where you have to go to pay into the National Health Insurance Fund. We were previously in that fund anyway when we moved over here in 2006.
Because we were both working obviously while we were here, so we were paying
working,
into the system normally. So.
But we haven't paid while we've been in the UK, obviously, because we've been paying national insurance there. So we popped into the office yesterday and we needed to fill out a form so that they can send it off to HMRC to show the periods of insurance we paid over in the UK, so that we don't have to pay them over here. Otherwise we could have a 5-year bill that we
Yes, we
back.
could. Yeah, we'd prefer not to have that.
But yeah, the office in Star Zagora knew that we needed to contact HMRC, or they need to contact HMRC for those.
So they've given us some paperwork we're going to fill in. So for the keen-eyed among you, you may have noticed we've swapped places and moved the camera.
We've changed positions.
And that's because the camera went, it's too hot. So it decided to stop playing. Yeah. So we've had to move it into the shade, poor little thing. So yeah, we were talking about NAP, so we got the paperwork, we got all that sorted.
From the office, we just need to fill it all in.
Fill it all in. We said we'd take it back probably next week.
Yes.
Get that applied for. It takes a couple of months apparently. And eventually once we got that back, we'll be able to register with the doctor and get things at normal
cheaper.
Bulgarian prices and what have you. If obviously I start working for the rescue centre,
or anywhere else.
It'll happen anyway, or anywhere else, yeah, for that matter.
Or if I do.
Or if Nikki does, yeah. But we'll be paying into the system anyway. But we can do and we will do. But this will save us paying for the last 5 years, where we've been paying in the UK, obviously. Well, it's the last 7 years we've been paying in the UK. So
yeah, but we'd only have to pay 5 years. That's the rules. So talking about healthcare, just a small update. In one of the previous videos, I had a chat about the fact that I was diagnosed with glaucoma back in February the 14th, my Valentine present. I've just had my first checkup in Bulgaria, and I went with Troshev Clinic, Dr. Troshev's son, Dr. Troshev Jr., in Stara Zagora, and he's done the checks. My pressure yesterday was elevated. It was lower in the UK than here. Don't know why. Is that down to stress or heat?
What are you stressed about? Which kitchen should I choose?
There's still stress. Renovating a house is stressful. Heat.
Should I choose?
Which what?
Which kitchen should I choose? What colour are we going to have the walls?
I have very thin corneas, and so my pressure needs to be lower than normal low. So I have got open angle glaucoma and normal tension glaucoma. So he's put me on some additional drops, which I have to do in the morning. So I do the ones at night and the ones in the morning, and I've got to go back in about a month for another checkup to see if the pressures have gone down.
But he did something normal about you.
But he did say to me that obviously when we join the NHIF system, the National Health Insurance Fund here in Bulgaria, I'll be able to get a referral from a GP. He's given me the name of an English-speaking GP in Stara Zagora. Doesn't know if he's taken on patients, that's the only thing, so I'll contact him. So yeah, it's been checked. The eye drops I had to buy were 14 levs 90. Obviously that's not being paid on the National Health Insurance Fund. If we were on the National Health Insurance Fund, I would get a referral from a GP, and the check at the hospital, at the Dr. Troshev's clinic, was 70 lever, but that would be free. I just have to pay for the referral from the GP, which is 2 levs 90, I believe. And then the eye drops, you get a reduction, so I would have only paid 10 loves for them on the health insurance fund. So yeah, it's an obligation. We do have to pay into it, obviously. We can't choose to not, or you shouldn't. I know people do, and it's a case of they will pay as they go, as they need it, and it is something we've contemplated. But obviously we're getting older. I particularly have
in the
things
past,
going wrong with me.
We've not been particularly sickly people,
No,
so
exactly.
it's possibly a chance we could take, but as we're getting old...
As we're getting old, and as we're doing DIY, you know, you've got
It's
problems
got
with your
lots of
elbows,
risks
haven't you? I've got a problem with my
involved.
shoulder.
And the health and safety is terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen. You could get bitten by... Slurp your teeth.
That's because I'm old.
You could get bitten by one of those Scalandra centipedes
Yeah,
which came in the house
nice
last
centipedes. And this is one of those very same little blighters that Nikki was talking about. So they can sting you with one end and they can bite you with the other. Okay, and they're all over the place. So really you do have to be a little bit careful where you're putting your feet, etc. and why you wear gloves. Just let him go. There's lots of them around the garden, and there was
really
one in the house yesterday which
They're aggressive as well.
freaked Nicky. They're not aggressive.
They are.
He was
it
annoyed.
Says it. It says
He'd
it.
come inside to get out of the heat, and we kicked him out. So of course he was
Yes.
annoyed.
Yeah, very evil little creatures, and actually I'm more scared of them than I am snakes at the moment, which is saying something because I'm very scared of snakes.
I think that's possibly because one, there's more of them.
Yeah, they're all around the garden
know they're all
underneath
around the
rocks,
garden
but one came in
every
the
time.
house
You have
last
to- you
night,
have to
and
do
it was that long.
Any gardening has to be done.
That long.
Any gardening has to be done. So about 6 inches. Any gardening has to be done with gloves.
And shoes, preferably.
Any walking around the house, even really, you should have something on just in case, because there are some
Yes.
creepy crawlies that might give you a nasty bite. So yeah, it's just. It's
But
just
that
all your
one
time.
could land you in hospital, so be careful, people. It's not the friendly one. There is
Pretty.
another one that's much more friendly.
It's pretty
It's not pretty, it's evil, it's fleshy.
black with red legs.
It's like a snake, and it has two big, I mean, either end.
It can sting you from the back and bite you from the front.
And they're
so
venomous. as
Sounds
well.
like a woman. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, watch out for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all nature, but even I'm a little bit wary of them.
Well, you had to get it out last night, and
Yeah.
I feared for your life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you let me do it anyway.
Yeah, I hid in the bathroom where it's all sealed.
I put it outside, obviously, as you do.
Yes. Darren's got a snake. It's a blotch snake. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
I'm going to keep on the end of the stick because I'm not experienced with this type of thing yet.
Right, do you want to just
So I'm
take
going
it
to
out
take
now?
him out the back garden,
Yes, please do
out
that.
by the side. Wow, what a beauty!
please,
Look at that. I'm
take
just
it
going to put
out.
it by the camera so you can see it.
Yeah, I don't,
Look at
people,
that.
People don't want to see it.
Look at that. What an absolute beauty. But because I know Nicky don't like them, I'm going to take them away.
Thank you. Bloody hell. Snakes. Centipedes. I'm not feeling very safe here at the moment.
I said earlier on about,
Yeah.
you get up in the morning and you go, what shall I do today? Today I had plans to do some stuff indoors, even though it's really, really nice. But as we said, we got a new car, want to park it. We've got all these double gates everywhere.
Yes.
It's a little tight getting in through the one that's usable at the moment.
Yes.
So we decided that's safer not to use. I'm going to give it a nice big scrape up the side just as we've got it.
Yes, because the gate actually closed last night as Darren was coming in, so
Yes,
and
that
I
wasn't
couldn't
very
stop
useful,
it because
was
I
it?
was behind the
So
car.
that was close.
Yeah.
There's another double gate which again they need welding and fixing, don't they? So we can't use that area yet, which was our full intention to use when we first got the house,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I
We-
still
we were going to do
want that.
a big pull in rather than have gates as
In the
such.
future, I want that.
Oh, look at that. It's a kite. That's a black kite.
It's a black kite.
Yeah, where's my
over
camera?
our house.
I'm going to slight distraction. Beautiful black kite, just over the garden. Yeah, literally just above the garden. So
That's the third one we've seen.
could be the same one.
It might be, yeah.
But we've seen it 3 times now. That's the first time I've actually managed to get it with the blue sky and what have you.
I love it here in the courtyard because it's
great,
like a
isn't it?
picture window,
Yeah, it is,
isn't
yeah.
it? Just this bit.
So we get very distracted and end up looking up a lot.
Talking about
So
car
yeah,
parking.
so car parking. Our final end game will be to take the gates off down there and make a parking area we can just drive into.
A pull in.
Yeah, pull in.
And it'll be covered,
Plenty
obviously.
of space for it, so that's the eventual plan. But obviously we have the car now, so we need to work out something. So what we've got is just the other side of the courtyard gates is a lovely little shaded area. There's a few too many trees there at the moment, but this is where the gravel is as well, by the way. So it probably makes a lot of sense to use that area there. So we'll put the gravel in there and the car can go in there. It'll be easier for us to pull a cover over if we need to, but it'll be in the shade a lot, which is probably as good as anything as well, because right round the front where I would really like to have it is far too sunny. The car's going to melt over there.
And it needs protection from hailstones, which
there was
can be
somewhere
like
that
golf
storm
balls over
yesterday,
here.
weren't they? So, but yeah, so that's the plan for today. So wasn't what I was expecting to do when I got up, but
No.
it's certainly what I'm going to do now.
It's already getting hotter, so we need to crack on if we're going to be shoveling gravel.
We're in the shade. Stop moaning, woman. What more do you want?
It's sunny out there.
It's not shady there where we're working.
Okay, so we are going to love you and leave you.
Yep, so wherever you are,
And-
whatever you're doing,
Take care.
and keep smiling, guys.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
So hi guys. So just a quickie. I very recently cleaned the barn out, and whilst I was doing it, I come across some gems. Okay, there's actually a cart without any wheels, but I reckon I can do something with that in the future. So watch this space. So I found these other bits and pieces that are from carts. We found these in one of the cupboards. There's a few of them. So yeah, that was cool. But the weirdest thing I found was this. And first of all, I thought, what on earth could it be? Little thing like that. And then I realised, looks a bit like a guillotine. So yeah, I think quite morbidly, they possibly got the chicken, put his head over the side, and cut it. So Nikki did ask me if I could demonstrate it for you. I've spent all morning running around trying to find catch a chicken, but it hasn't happened, so I wasn't quick enough.
Can I just say we are vegetarians, by the way, so there's no way we would ever do that.
Yeah!
Oh, it worked!
Look at that, it's worked a treat. I didn't think, that's obviously sharper than it
Yeah, I
looks.
thought it was quite sharp.
I thought it would struggle because it's such a thin little piece, but look
Oh
at
my
that.
God.
Oh my word.
We can actually use that.
Look at that.
Watch your fingers.
Look, chop carrots with that.
Yes, that's a good
Do
idea.
some cooking.
We need a little
it
tray
in
on
the
the other
kitchen.
side for it to catch the carrots.
Look at that.
You're into that.
So, you never know what you're going to find. Have a nice day.